Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host, and this is Community Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an outstanding program for you this evening. North Chicago will be celebrating a special program by the North Chicago Police Department called National Night Out. We have with us a person that you should know, not only in North Chicago, but Lake County, Detective Carl Sturt, North Chicago Police Department in the city of North Chicago, Illinois. Good evening, Detective Sturt.
Good evening, Dr. Brooks.
I had a lot of practice in pronouncing that name, so I hope I got it right.
You got it right, man.
But I'd like for you to tell our listening audience a little bit about your personal and professional background.
Okay. Well, I'm great to be here. Thanks for inviting me. I am I'm a little over 40 years old. I'm not shy about my age, so I guess 44, there you go, exactly.
Okay.
I've been in this country now for 24 years. I was raised in England. I'm from England. I'm an American citizen now. I'm proud to be an American citizen. I have a lovely wife and 3 kids and 2 grandkids.
Oh.
So I've been working for the city of North Chicago now as a police officer for 12 and a half years. It's been a great experience in my life. I've changed careers a couple times, and I found that police work is something that I love to do.
How did you happen to choose the city of North Chicago? Do you live in the city of North Chicago?
I live in Zion.
Okay.
Actually, now I just moved out of Zion, but since I've been in this country, I've lived in the surrounding area, Beach Park and so forth. And it's actually a weird story, because when I first came here, I worked in Libertyville, and one of the friends that I met there actually introduced me to a residence in North Chicago, and that's where I went and met friends. And when I first came here, and now I ended up doing a little bit of a cycle. Well, I've been here now for 12 and a half years working in North Chicago, but the cycle came around, and now I'm working for those citizens and friends that I met 20-something years ago.
Detective Sturt, what piqued your interest in the, we say, the law enforcement field?
I first off started in following in my father's footsteps in engineering. Okay. And because I like to work with my hands, I like to be out and about. I'm not a sit behind a desk person. Okay. And I've always either wanted to possibly join the military, but the engineering opportunity came up, so I followed in my father's footsteps. Okay. And then since then, I've decided that change careers. I became an electrician, and then I decided to look into law enforcement and found out it's a job that I really love to do, helping people. And I can't say that, it's exciting. It's a job that you never know what's going to happen day to day.
Well, we're happy to that you've taken time from your busy schedule to be with us on the Community Forum to let Lake County know who you are. When I say Lake County, the Comcast area is approximately 100,000 people.
Okay, awesome.
Comcast. But if you haven't been known, you'll be known all over the world now, because we can go online, and see you back in England. But locally, CAN TV in Chicago, and also Time Warner in Kenosha, and also all the local areas around it. Like I say, you can go online, drbrooks.tv.
Okay, awesome.
And everybody could watch you, But what about the criteria for the policeman? What is the eligibility?
Well, for the city of North Chicago, different departments have different requirements.
Oh, okay.
Some set different educational levels of requirements. Okay. Some require college, some don't, just a high school diploma. When I was hired with North Chicago, it didn't require a college education, just your high school diploma. Obviously, there's a process of, it's called an eligibility list. So when you put in an application, they establish an eligibility list. And that's done by the Police and Fire Commission, who would there's a written test, an oral interview, and then you would be graded upon these things. They've also added now preference points for education and for living in the city. You would get extra points for that, which helps you out. I think it's a reward for living in the community. With that, then that list is finalized, and they would start at the top and work their way down as they go to hire new officers from that list, who would then get sent to the academy. So, you could end up be higher on the list if you're come across to the Police and Fire Commission, or you do well on the written test, and so forth.
I know the local citizens are wondering why there's not more local patrolmen. Well, there's a thing called background checks, right? I suppose that will eliminate quite a few.
Not necessarily. I mean, there's several means. I mean, it's not a question of eliminating people. It's a question of are they qualified to do the job, and some of that requirement is integrity and trustworthiness, and sometimes people don't quite fit that criteria. But yes.
Yeah, I mentioned background checks because you could pass every aspect, but if they check your background, if I guess drug-related tests, you'll take a drug test and this type of thing.
There's several. That's the eligibility list, and then after that, there's another progression of tests. You'll go through a polygraph test. You'll go through. There's a background. You'll also have a physical and a psychological evaluations. Yes.
One other residency. That's not, and that would eliminate a lot of people, because I think it's up to the cities what area they would use for residency requirement, right?
Correct. I mean, when you hire somebody, they can live anywhere.
Okay.
But once you become off of probation, our union contract states that you have to be within 35 air miles of the city. That had just recently been extended out. The whole point is, though, do you want to be able to have the best candidates for the job? So the more people that we can reach out to and that want to become good police officers, you need to be going to colleges, recruiting at colleges, recruiting at these other areas, even all across the country, because there's lots of good police officers that are out there, or future police officers that are out there. They just don't really know about the career. They need to hear about it. They need to know more about it.
In a city like North Chicago, would it make you a better policeman if you have a college education than a high school education? Because I noticed they just raise the requirements.
This is my personal, because I can't quote on behalf of the police department.
Okay.
And I have this discussion with a couple of my coworkers who's very big time college proponent. That they believe. I'm not against education, but I'm just saying that to be a police officer, I don't think learning. I mean, obviously you need to be able to read and write good reports and be able to. But I think being a good police officer is also a personable thing. You need to be personable with people. You need to be able to deal with people. That's what we deal with every single day. And I'm sorry, no college education can teach you how to deal with a person and how to be, It's a situational. You need to be able to adapt and overcome, and be able to conversate and take charge, be authoritative. It's all sorts of things. But I don't think you can learn that so much from a book, other than from life.
Detective Sturt, and you mentioned about dealing with people, but you have an outstanding program coming up. I say you, but it's a national, and we might give us a little background on that, a national night out.
Yep.
This is one way that the police department can relate to people, right?
Exactly.
Tell us about first of all, maybe the overall mission of National Night Out.
Well, I could read you the flyer that when you register for the program for the city.
Okay.
And our National Night Out is going to be August 2nd.
Okay.
The program starts at approximately 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
And then we're going to run until about 7. We've got lots of events and fun stuff to be done. It's always going to be the first Tuesday of August every year. The National Night Out is sponsored by the National Association of the Town Watch. And they've now been doing this for 33 years.
Wow.
It's grown into, well, it says here 16,728 communities from all 50 states, U.S. territories, Canadian cities, military bases, and across the world. So it's a pretty extensive national night out, and the whole point is that on one day of the year, that the police and the community get together and have activities, fun activities together. It's mainly built about a walk. A bonding walk between the community, where the officers and the citizens get out and walk throughout the community, promoting the bonding between the police and the citizens of the community. That's what it's based upon. But we've enlarged ours a little bit. We're working. This is my first year of being tasked with the project of planning this, so it's new to me. The new chief, Richard Wilson, has been doing it since 2004. Now he's handed over the torch to me. So I'm hoping that I can fill his shoes and do a good job. It's looking like we're going to have a good fun night. We got a lot of activities and stuff planned, which I don't know if you want me to expound upon now, or we'll get into that.
Yeah, because Chief Wilson saw something in you. To a point, I know you say on any job, you say your duties are all of the above.
Correct.
You know, but he looked around and he saw something in you that you would fill a bill, you know, with dealing with people, this type of thing.
It's just something that, you know, like I said, you can do it or you can't, and I try to be positive about everything and just be real and communicate with people, tell the truth, and do the right thing. And I'm assuming that's what he's recognized in me, and I try to promote. I'm proud to be a police officer in the city of North Chicago. You know, they took a chance in hiring me, and I'm one of those people that, I'm not like these sports players that'll jump team in a heartbeat for extra money or whatever the case may be.
Like Wade, $37 million, I guess, with the Bulls. So just a 2-year contract?
Yeah, a 2-year contract. I don't know, they were looking at 3. They managed to get 2-year contract.
Please don't have that kind of.
But no, I'm a believer in that, you know, that staying with a team, and my team is North Chicago, you know, so why not work to make it a better place? Work, you know, to make it the best place it can be. And I'm not just talking about the police department, I'm talking about the community itself. And I'm a firm believer in that reaching out, communicating, talking with the public is the way that's got to be done. So here I am.
Yeah, we had citizens looking at the way things are happening all over the country between, you know, police and citizens, you know, but this happened, what started 33 years ago.
Correct.
So was the type of things happening then that are happening now, the relationship between the police and the citizens?
I believe it's more a case of evolution of policing, in that it's becoming very community orientated now. Instead of the them against us mentality, because that's, you're segregating yourself when you create a them against us mentality. So 33 years ago, some smart people got together and decided, you know what, we need to be more community orientated. This is, I mean, after all, I can't tell you how many times I've heard I pay your salary, but ultimately, who pays the salaries? The taxpayers, the community that you work for. They deserve the best product that they can get.
And the taxpayers look for the policeman to protect them. I mean, that's your primary goal.
Absolutely.
The protector of the city.
Correct. Okay. So this program was then brought forth to as just one method of making, creating that bond between citizens. I mean, how many times have we talked over the years? Okay. I try to do that with all the citizens. Just any opportunity I get. I don't just try to. Being a police officer isn't about just going out and writing tickets, and the more I know in the community, the more people that I respect, they respect me, and build that bond of being able to have a communication of. They're more likely to talk to me in regards to events that are going on that they feel they need help, but they can't go and talk with somebody else because they're afraid to. So the more bonding activities we have between our officers and the community, it can only be better, right?
Well, tell us about National Night Out. We may come back to some other community activities, but what is going to happen National Night Out at 2 p.m.
Okay,
kickoff?
We're going to have from approximately, first off, we've got to get through the formalities. Probably have the mayor come up and speak a little bit, police chief and stuff.
Okay.
Say a little prayer. Then around 2:30, we'll be looking to have activities for games and events for kids to participate in. Going to have some stuff for the adults as well. And I've arranged for Foss Park to put on a little bingo for the, I won't say senior citizens that want to play, because anyone's welcome to play. So, people like their bingo. So I've got little bingo events going on. I'll have some prizes to give away for participation in the events. Because we've had a lot of donations from the community, the business communities have put forth some funds, and we plan to make it the best and fun time that we can for the kids and the adults that come and see the events. We're going to have, so that's going to take place from about 2:30 to 5:30. At 5:30, we're going to look to have our walk. It's going to be approximately 30 to 45-minute walk around the community, trying to introduce ourselves to as many people as we can, and show the others that didn't come what fun they're missing out on. Then we get back approximately 5. I've got to do my math now. 6:15 around there, and then we'll have some hot dogs and some other snacks.
Brats too, huh?
I don't know about brats. I don't know if that's quite in the budget, but because that's kindly donated by an attorney's office, Favio, and I can't remember it. I got to get them to send me their contact information, but they're just there to help with that. They see the positiveness of a community event like this, and they donate. And like I said, we've had lots of donations from the businesses around, so we're hoping to be able to put on a good event that people have fun at.
Donations is an important part of any organization or any activity that you have, and most organizations they freely donate, right?
Absolutely.
They see that you're doing something positive and so forth. So they, matter of fact, they put that in their budget.
Yeah. Well, the reason I was running a little late today was I just came from a planning meeting for the National Night Out, and the one lady in there, how did she say it? She said, well, I won't quote it because I can't remember, but of the lines of, if you don't ask, you're not going to get
this. Okay.
So we asked, and they're there. Oh, great, no problem, because they don't know about all the events. That's why we need to get out on these TV shows like yours and community outreach. I'm looking to do some more radio closer to the time to be able to encourage people to come out and participate. We're going to have a lot of fun things for people to do.
Well, we're happy to do it. As a matter of fact, Chief Wilson he's always encouraged me. It's a year away now. It's 6 months away now.
Yep.
It's 3 months away now. So he's been very active, and getting me to do it. I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, he's been a big part of National Night Out. I think he's been involved in it every year since it started, and like I said, this year he's handed the reins over to me, but then he's picked up some more responsibilities now that he's the chief of police. So I'm hoping that I do him proud and make a good event for everybody.
So it's August the 2nd, which is on a Tuesday?
Correct.
Okay,
yep,
I got that right. Tuesday.
Yep.
And it's from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. And where is it located? Your headquarters?
Yep, it's going to be at the City Hall by the police department, between the police department and Fox Park Youth Center. So that's 1730 Lewis Avenue and 1850 Lewis Avenue. There's the fields behind both buildings there. We're going to have a couple tents set up. You're not going to be able to miss this because we're going to have lots of balloons and some posters up on the banners up on the fences around. You can't really miss us. So.
And there'll be a lot of people participating, adults and children.
That's
so
my.
You have activities for both.
Yep. The whole idea is that we get as many in the community as possible of all ages. There's a couple. I haven't confirmed what they're going to exactly be doing yet, but we're looking to have the Lake County Health Department. They want to participate. So they were talking about doing some blood pressure checks or back to school physicals for the children. I've confirmed the food pantry, the Northern Illinois Food Pantry is going to be out there. We don't want them to steal our thunder, so we'll probably have them to the side a little bit, but they're going to be out there because otherwise it creates there's going to be always a lot of people that like to participate in that, but they're going to be there helping the needy, so that's always a good thing. We're going to have several of our units, different units, our bicycle unit, a motorcycle patrol, the K9. I'm going to have them put on a little demonstration for you, for the citizens to come out and watch. So we currently have an officer with DEA, with the Drug Enforcement Agency, the DEA federal.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. No, so he's assigned to them. So I told him, he came last year and he brings out their DEA van and stuff and gives out a bunch of flyers and stuff. So we got lots of activity and commitments to the program.
Now on the parade, you probably have a lot of seniors, but I don't think they'll be walking. Like I said, I don't think I'll be walking, but be driving driving in the parade. Because you encourage people to, just so they participate, right? Get in the parade.
Correct. Well, we don't want too many personal cars involved in it.
Okay.
Because we've provided the Fox Park District has several vans that they have available, and the plan is that if you don't have to walk the whole way, you can, if you don't feel that you can go any further for a minute, hop back up in the van, take a rest, and then, or if you just want to ride along in the van the whole way, we've got no problem with that. Like you said, we encourage that participation. Yep.
And the route, though, would be what? You got an idea of the route?
We're looking to go, right now, we've tried to change it up each year because we can't walk the whole city. So, we'll try to do one sort of area one year, and then we'll switch it up. This year, we're going to be going from the police department at 1850 Lewis. We're going to be walking down to Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, down Lewis Avenue. Then we're going to head east towards the lake to Broadway. And then we're going to take Broadway up to Glen Drive, and then take that up to Argonne, and Argonne West back to the police department again.
It's a pretty good...
yeah, I think it probably about a mile and a half, something like that. We plan to make it like a 30 to 45 minute walk. It's not so much parade, though. We're not going to be having, it's just getting out and promoting...
Well, the visibility too,
Yes.
And I'm sure you're going to have probably the park, the fire department. They probably be blowing their horns and so forth.
We're going to have a lot of. What I guess I'm saying is when I say parade, it's not going to be a bunch of vendors in there trying to sell their wares. This is just purely community interaction. We want to promote the citizens, the police, and of course we can't forget our fire department. But then everybody loves the fire department. But with Chief Del Urban, she's awesome. She's
a fantastic. She's been on the program too here.
Yeah. Oh, she has.
Oh yes.
Oh, I
radio and the TV.
Didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Of course, I've had a
I should
few.
have asked her for a few hints before came on. I didn't
Chief
know.
of Staff has been on.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so we reach out to the city. We want everyone to know about the city of North Chicago. That there's some good things happening.
Correct.
And
I just hope that one of those good things is it's National Night Out. So the more people show up, the more success it is, and then I'll fulfill the chief's shoes. That's I'll fill those shoes properly.
And you have a lot of literature that you'll be handing out
For the event or at the event?
At the event.
At the event, there's we're going to have a lot of literature. There's promoting some of our other programs, but obviously some of the vendors and tables that are going to be set up there will have their own flyers and stuff to set up.
Okay.
But of course, I'm going to be advertising because I need my good citizens to show up and support the Citizens Police Academy.
Oh.
We have a Citizen Police Academy. We've been doing it twice a year.
Okay.
Now we've had over 100 graduates so far, but we need to keep. Numbers have died down a little over the last couple classes, so I'm hoping to get them back up to around 20 a class.
Well, you need more publicity to let the people know.
Exactly, and that's why I'm here as well today.
Okay.
So and I've got some flyers made up to be handing out for that. That's another fun. It's an 11-week program. We'll be starting again in September. I did actually confirm that with the chief today. He said,
okay,
yes, we will be having another class starting in either late December, early October. The 11-week program. I haven't managed to convince you to take the class yet because you've been so busy, but
yeah, I've been promoting it though with
awesome because like I said, there's been everybody.
Because again, the length of it is when the time is.
It's 11 weeks, and we do it Thursday nights from 6 till 9:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it doesn't always fit into people's schedules. So
let me put this down. Is it 11 weeks? Huh?
Yep.
11
now,
weeks.
if you don't make all 11, we're not gonna not let you graduate. But but you need to make it. We try to 9 is because the first one is an orientation. So if you missed that one, we can forgive that a little bit. But trust me, you don't want to miss the classes because it's just so informative, and
right,
people have a lot of fun doing it.
I think in the past, community forum was on Thursday nights. I think that in the past. But I don't have that excuse now because it's Tuesdays.
Okay, so I'll make sure I stop by your house and drop you off an application then before the class starts.
Yeah, I'll be at the, you have me at the City Hall too, right? The City Hall, we have the publicity there.
Oh, okay. Yep. No, there's flyers. Yep. I have it on the city website, their Facebook page.
Okay.
And of course, they can stop by and see me anytime. My hours change slightly through the summer. We tend to be moved to the busier hours, but generally Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 are my hours, and my phone number is 847-596-8743. So anyone can call me and
okay, that's 847
596-8743. They want to participate in the any of the programs, help out, volunteer with anything, they can contact me, and I'll try to help out and get them pointed in the right direction.
Now, this is the Citizens Police Academy.
Correct.
Right? Now, there's another academy sponsored by Fire Department, right?
Can't forget them. They do, I'm not sure if they do it twice a year. I believe they just do it once a year. And theirs is the Fire Academy. Well, let me just go back to the police one. Some people get a little mistaken when they hear academy and that, and they think, no, it's not trying to train someone to be a police officer. It's to train them or to educate them on the life and the day of a police officer in North Chicago. Help the citizens understand what we deal with in North Chicago so that they can empathize and understand why we do things procedurally and so on and so forth. And then at the end of it, they'll get to do a little ride along and even see firsthand what we deal with in the city. Now, the same thing with, the fire department, you don't get to do a ride-along, I don't think. But they do a lot of fun stuff. If you are up for it, you can, not afraid of heights, they'll let you climb the ladder truck. They do lots of hands-on stuff with the hoses and cutting people out of cars.
If you're in physical condition.
Well, yeah, I mean, they do a lot of fun stuff there as well.
Mm-hmm. But it gets you to appreciate really what a fireman does. You know.
Yep. I mean, what's that joke about firemen? No, they're always they come to your house and everybody loves them, because even though they just destroy your house, spray it with hoses, cut it up with axes, but they love them because you know.
What kind of love is that, you know?
Right. But you know what? I love them too, because guess what? If I ever get hurt, God forbid, they're going to be the first ones there to aid me. So, and I know that we've got one of the best fire departments that there is. So.
Okay. Now, there will be information booths by the police to talking about the program that we just been talking about.
Yes.
There at the National Night Out.
Yes.
And that's one of the purposes, informational.
Correct.
Too, right?
Yeah, giving out information of programs that we have, so we can try to increase that participation, increase the knowledge. I mean, spread of word of mouth only goes so far. Okay. So we need to do what we can to try to promote the events and the programs that we have, and try to have as much. I mean, I attend most of the ward meetings that that the aldermen put on, and I'll come out and answer questions, and like I said, I'm pretty straightforward guy, and the chief hasn't pulled me back and said, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. Okay.
He wants you to get the information out.
Yeah, he doesn't. We want to be transparent. It's not about. We don't want people to think that there's no we want transparency. People need to see what's going on.
I know Alderman Markham of the 5th Ward, he has quarterly meetings, and you are a representative. Matter of fact, he get a representative from the police, the fire.
Every department.
Every department he gets to come. And he has a real good turnout too.
Yes, he's one of those, though, but he's taken an effort. He's one of the aldermen that does have the regular alderman meetings. He does them, like you said, quarterly. He's got them all planned out throughout the year.
Different locations.
Yep, he mixes it up. He always has a lot of refreshments, a lot of information, trying to have lots of stuff.
One is the refreshments that brings him out. He has terrific donations of refreshments.
Yep. No, he always does good with that. And then so does Alderman Evans. He always has the regular meetings. He does lots of stuff in his community with block rummage sales. He'll try to organize block cleanups and so on. He's very much an active alderman in this community. I do go out to his ward meetings when I'm there, and like I said, we need to have these interactions between the citizens, the police departments, to build that trust, to build. We're there for you.
Okay.
We're there for you.
Okay. You mentioned another program too. Of course, trust. We'll get into that. I had to question curfew. Tell us about how important curfew.
The kids. I mean, I understand there's not a lot of activities around North Chicago for kids to be doing, but they don't need to be out at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, whether it's a school night or not. There's plenty of other things that they should be doing, and sleep is one of them. I mean, that's so important. But like you had said earlier, education. I mean, they could be working, reading, doing, lots of things. They don't need to be out. What good is out there at 1 o'clock in the morning just walking around the street? So it's important for us to then find out. The detail entails bringing them to the police department. Then we contact the parents, and then once we speak to their parents, we get a better idea of how come they're out at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then start holding parents responsible and accountable for some of the kids' actions. And then that we can handle it in several different ways. Adjudication hearing, which is will probably end up with a little bit of community service by the child, and with involvement from the parent. Now, there are other programs we have, though, and like I talked about with you earlier in regards to handling kids, juveniles. I won't, bad decisions, poor judgment, and getting involved in something that they probably shouldn't have done, and but they don't want to be someone that's marked upon them for the rest of their lives. So they have a new program. Well, it's not new. It's new to North Chicago, even though it's a few months old now. I guess time flies. Teen Court, and Teen Court is put on by peers, their peers. So it's a group of other teenagers that have gone through some training in regards to court proceedings, and they put on and hear the case of the juvenile in question. Now, granted, you've got, and it's sanctioned by the Lake County State's Attorney's Office. So, but it's a way to because not only do they, I don't want to call it a punishment, they receive consequences for their actions, and a lot of those consequences involve counseling, community service, stuff that is going to be more educational and directing that juvenile away from recommitting. And that also involves their parents and getting their parents involved. Some of it's mutual counseling between parents and the child, depending upon what the circumstances of the case are. But this is only obviously for minor, offenses, misdemeanors. I'm not sure the exact criteria of it, so I'm not going to try to quote any of it.
You mentioned misdemeanors, but felonies too. It's kind of difficult for a parent to see their child get a felony on their record as a teenager. I was wondering why the 80% of the prison system is minorities. That's a high percentage. And what happened, they start so young, they don't have a chance. And once you get that felony on your record, it's very difficult to get it removed.
It is. But and I feel that you in North Chicago, it's a community that needs a lot of help with their juveniles. They need to be at the start of their young lives, educated in the right way to do things, the right way to live. I'm sure, because you have very good manners, I'm sure that you were taught by your parents back at a very young age on respecting others and so on, and respecting yourself. And I see a lot of our juveniles that don't have that, and they need to respect themselves first. So that's an issue that it's a deep social issue. And that's what needs to be addressed with it, and hopefully guiding those kids in the right directions will avoid getting in any kind of issue with police and an issue that might get themselves hurt or so on. I mean, that's terrible.
Well, I have to congratulate you and the police department at this point. If we have time, I'll do it again before the program's in.
Thank you.
Because we should have, now, the situation I mentioned about the high population in jails, I mentioned prison, but jails even, because if they suspended or drop out of high school, then they're out in the community. You mentioned about curfew and so forth, violating the curfews and so forth, doing things that cause them to become incarcerated. And once they become incarcerated, then that's the end of the system for them, or end or beginning of another system, So I have to congratulate you for doing. And if we could have other social organizations, we have a lot of social organizations, but we should, social organizations are good, but we should steer towards educating of the teenagers while they're in school.
Absolutely.
Grade school as well as high school.
I'm talking I'm talking elementary school,
Well, let's go to the third grade, for example. And there's data that shows that if they have difficulty at the third grade in reading and arithmetic and so forth, each year they're going to get progressively behind.
Yep.
And by the time they get to high school, then they won't be able to do college. Algebra and geometry and
Yep.
calculus and so forth. And they're going to drop out. And then that's where it starts.
It's sad. And the with the North, I'm not speaking about the school district. I really don't know anything about our school district, but what I see with the kids is that they feed off of each other.
Okay.
You know, if you've got a group that's got positive influences, they're a positive group, and they accomplish stuff. They accomplish positive things, but it also goes the same way with the negatives, and I guess gangs. You know,
okay.
And they think it's cool to be in a gang.
What about the gang activity in North Chicago? Is it heavy? I don't know about Waukegan or Zion, but what about?
Well, me personally, I'm not a big gang person. I try to look at everything in the individual, but we do have a gang issue. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of gang violence that occurs.
Okay.
But then again, some of it's not gang; it's just stupidity. Some of our crimes that involve what I call great bodily harm, and we don't have to necessarily talk about homicide, but shootings and so forth. You find out what it's about, and you're like, "Are you serious? This is crazy. This is insane. Why are you even? You've just ruined your life. Why? Or you just took somebody else's life. Why?"
But like you say, it starts with the parents at home, training the youngsters.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, nobody's perfect. I understand that, and then there's a lot of issues with social issues involved in parenting at home if you're a single parent, and so on. But at some point in time, it does start there, and if you need help, then reach out. There's lots, like you said, lots of social groups out there can help. I mean, we are trying to be more community oriented, but our primary goal as law enforcement is to enforce the law, and but you know, we have a lot of officers that are dedicated to. It's not about giving a chance. It's not about cutting breaks. It's about reading each situation and understanding where the crime was committed, whether it be a theft or whatever, and looking at it and trying to be as I can't think of the word right now, but not forgiving. Discretion, using our discretion to in a circumstances to be able to. Now, great programs like Teen Court allow us to utilize that discretion. If we put that to Teen Court, that gives that child the opportunity. And I can't quote the numbers, but the numbers for Teen Court, the kids that go through Teen Courts, that they don't repeat again is high. I want to say it's like 80-something%. When they go through that Teen Court program, they don't reoffend. They've gone through it, and the program has helped them, and it's a great thing. So if we can keep up good numbers like that, hopefully we can turn around. I'd love to go to work and do absolutely nothing. Except go around and say hi, nice to meet you, because that would mean there's no crime. There is nothing for me to do.
Now, is there a typical day for Detective Carl Kurt?
No. I mean, every day is different, and that's what I love about my job. You never know who you get to meet, you get to meet great people, some not so great people, but you got to take the good with the bad. But I get to see lots of different things. Here I am today on your TV show, and this morning I did your radio. So these are great experiences that I enjoy, and getting out and meeting new people and different crimes is it's different. Everything's different. So you can't look at every single incident that I respond to as the one that I did before, even though it may be similar. It may be a domestic violence. You've got to go in and assess the situation, and that's where a good police officer, a good detective is going to understand, and it comes back to relating to people, being able to talk to people, being able to communicate. And that's what I feel is the biggest part of being a police officer.
Well, what about the high school? I noticed there was a time when you had a policeman.
There's,
you know,
I can't speak
school.
upon it because I just don't know why we don't have an officer in there right now.
Okay.
I believe there was something to the school district at the time feel that they didn't want to put. I can't quote because I just
there
don't
was
know
a
the
time
answer.
when
we did have a school resource officer, and I do believe that at some point again here soon we'll be having another one. I don't know if it was due to manpower issues with our department and the money issues with the school district and so on and so forth.
That's sad that to see that happen, though. You know, now I would think coordinating between the city. I think a citizen Betty Harris mentioned that several times to when she citizens speaking after city council meeting by the city communicating with the school, and you know, with that, would that help? You know,
it would help. As you know, the school district and the city are separate entities.
Yeah.
The other issue we have with that is that you have that the school district was going through its own problems and they were getting some assistance. So I don't know. Again, I can't quote on it because I just don't know.
Well, we'll let that one. That's another. That's
another
another program.
Yeah, I suggest you get someone from the school board in there.
But that is and they have been on too. I've had the superintendent on too, and of course he's budgeting, you know, minded and so forth. But I think in planning, well, we'll let that go to another. But I mentioned planning. Now, evidently, there's a lot of planning that goes on to set up a national night out, right?
Yeah, I was kind of shocked how much work it's entailing. It's taking up a lot of my day. I constantly dealing with, you know, like I said, there was a lot of people that want to participate, donate, and coordinate with them, coordinating with the volunteers that are helping out with the activities, organizing activities, coming up with new ideas to create that bond between police and citizens. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot to it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned citizens, but...
Ooh, so hang on. So if anyone still wants to volunteer or come up with any ideas, we're running short on time because it's 3 weeks today, but please contact me at 847-596-8743, and we would more appreciate your help.
Yeah. That was a question I had. I don't know how to word this, but whether it would be practical or not, but what kind of citizens do to demand safety? Is that appropriate?
I don't know.
Because they.
I mean, we have to hold, as a citizen.
Okay.
Not as a police officer, as a citizen, we have to hold ourselves accountable for our actions. Okay. And accept responsibilities.
Then they have to be accountable.
Yeah, and that. So, as a citizen, as a police officer, as anybody, even the president, has to be accountable for his actions, whether they make a right decision, a wrong decision. Mm-hmm. You know, granted, a lot of our decisions, judgment calls at the time, and sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. Mm-hmm. So so that's, I can't say that demanding safety. I mean, police is what really is sad about police is we're reactive.
Okay.
You know, because how often I don't know how many
people call you.
Right, exactly.
You don't volunteer to go. They call you.
Well, but if we're out patrolling, we don't know if we just stopped an armed robbery. We don't know if we just stopped a drug deal. We don't know because we drove through it and just driving through, and that person's like, "Oh, I better not do that robbery right now." Okay. They go up. We don't know. We don't know the positive statistics of proactive policing. Because there's no way to document it. Because not many people are going to come up and say, yeah, I was going to commit a robbery, but I didn't because there was a police officer drove through. But guarantee you stuff is talked about when the police officer is called or something occurs right in front of them that they have to react to. So.
Well, You didn't know you were going to get these tough questions when you, but no, they're routine really, because you're here for on the police force for safety.
Correct.
This is why you're there. That's the key. The last tough question: can you think of any other means of making the local citizens trust, quote unquote, the policeman?
There is. I can't make you do anything. All I can do is try to be myself, have my other officers get out there, be themselves, talk to the citizens, and just create that bond of between us as humans. I'm a human. You're a human. Everybody's a human. So don't look at the black and blue uniforms. I mean, the bottom line is we are there to aid and protect you, and we are there for you. We're not there to hurt you. So if you're not doing anything wrong, please trust me. Please talk to me. Please come up and say hi. What's going on? I love it when I speak to the kids and they got big smiles. Hi, Mr. Policeman. I love to be, that's a big part of my day when a kids are waving or whatever and saying hi and showing no fear of me, because I'm nothing to fear.
Something is beyond your control, though, but the local citizens, I would say the students, they would like to see policemen that they can identify with.
Yeah, we got a good
and
program.
Being a citizen like this, being a city like this, then they don't see too many policemen like them.
Well, that's, I'll remember him now. It's a movement called Ask 12. That was founded by some citizens in North Chicago and some of our younger, newer officers in the department. And that's exactly what they try to encourage. They've got programs. They've put on events. They've basketball games. They've done tried to do as much as they can to let the kids know that we're there for them as well. We're granted, again, we've got to do our job, so we're there. And you step out, go down the wrong path. We've got to do what we've got to do as law enforcement, but we want to encourage you to not do that. Not that we're lazy, but again, like I said, I'd rather come to the work and not have to do anything because it's crime-free.
That's a question I should direct to the chief or the mayor about a program to ensure that there are policemen on the force that the citizens or the students can identify with.
Well, to be honest with you, they should be able to identify with every one of us.
It should be.
There shouldn't be dedicated officers that are,
But no, seriously, you can't be in a town that's all black and have all white. I'm not saying North Chicago's all white now. I mean, but there should. I'm sorry, more policemen they can identify with, then they would strive to be policemen themselves. But if they don't see anybody that they can identify with, well, they don't have any encouragement to become a policeman themselves.
Correct, but and the chief may get on me for this because I was told not to talk about these things as much. It's not my area was the goal, but I will just say this. We actually have one of the most diverse departments in the country as far as percentages of minorities and so forth. If you actually look at the numbers, we have one of the most diverse police departments in the country.
Well, he should identify. He shouldn't identify. He should congratulate you for saying that. Then
Well, like I said, I try to keep it real, and I'm kind of honest. You ask me a question, I'm generally going to answer it.
Right. Well, what about family? Do you keep your cool when you?
Now my kids
go home.
My kids get to feel my wrath if they do wrong. I gotta, they're kids. They need their discipline.
But I mean, as far as you're concerned, you don't get overly because of a rough day. Like I say, every day is different. Well, you still take time and not lose your cool with you.
No, I mean my son's 9 years old right now. My other two are both moved out. They're older, So I'm very proud of my older kids. They've done well with themselves. So I'm not, even though when they were growing up, we had our moments. My son is 9 years old right now, and he is big testing us all the time, me and my wife.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And so, there's plenty of corrective action having to take place. But that's we're not supposed to be their kids' best friends. We're supposed to be parents. We're supposed to educate them and direct them in becoming good, productive citizens in the community. Yeah. Which, by the way, you've done with your daughter and your kids very well.
Well, we took them to church. We didn't send them.
Right.
And when they were the PTOs and PTAs, we make sure that we're there, and it makes a difference. And really, our era, we had most of the parents was doing the same thing that we were doing.
Participating in your child's
but
childhood.
It's a lot different now.
Yeah.
It's a lot different now. But I'll thank you again for participating, and
no problem.
You took time from your Friday night out to come out and see her performance on the oboe.
That was awesome.
And it was
very entertaining. I enjoyed the whole evening. It was very well put up.
And for the it will be. I think our time has come to fruition. But I want to thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Brooks,
Detective Carl Sturt.
Yep.
Right, for coming out and letting Lake County know about the National Night Out. And the last plug here is August the 2nd.
From 2 p.m. till 6 p.m. 7 p.m.
Between the
Police Department and the Community Center on Lewis Avenue, 1850 Lewis Avenue. Yep.
Fantastic. There will be food, games, parade, and enough for everybody.
Yep, right. Lots of fun.
Seniors as well as
all ages.
All ages.
All ages.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Community Forum. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host.